Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to On the Break. We got a good one coming to you. Trevon, man, the NBA brought the hammer down on Draymond Green. They suspended him for the next game, game three in Golden State, for the incident that happened with him stepping on Sabonis. So, what is your reaction to that? How is that going to affect the Warriors? How are the Sacramento Kings going to attack the Warriors since Draymond is going to be out? And you can also throw in there what do you even think about the suspension? Did he deserve it? Was the ejection enough? And just let me know what you think about it, man.
I'll answer that first. I don't think Draymond deserved to be suspended. I can stand with him being ejected because of the moment how he reacted, which was actually crazy. Honestly, he has a tendency to kind of like accept and embrace that energy, that hostility he's getting from the crowd, and kind of turn it into him, going back at him and whatnot. It makes for some funny moments. Memphis, all that. I can get him being ejected, but suspended, I wouldn't go that far. Because I feel like if you suspend him, you need to suspend Sabonis. Honestly, there's been repeated offenses with Sabonis. I know you're probably aware of Sabonis grabbing players when the ball's being inbounded and being extra physical. A lot of non-warranted actions that he's doing that's not part of the play. Um, Andrew Wiggins' potential game-winning three in game one, he held Draymond down, who's trying to go down on a transition play. Draymond probably could have did something to you know, help that possession out. Sabonis is down and Draymond can actually come back. That's 5-on-4. Maybe they can get offensive rebound, make something happen. But Sabonis has been doing a lot of dirty plays throughout this, so I don't think Draymond should have been suspended. And if he did, then okay, like we got to look at Sabonis. You know what I'm saying? Because he's been doing this. Um, it's kind of tricky on how it will affect the Warriors because, you know, we both agree that Steph is the most important piece of this dynasty. Some people would say Clay, but I would really propose the idea that Draymond might be the second most important piece of this. I just feel like the offense is so much more, efficient and functional when you have a very niche type player that's focused on one job only, which is to play defense, play make, and score when he's called for. Just put the ball in the basket if he needs to. But he knows in his head, we need to get these guys the ball. And I feel like Draymond, what he does on both ends is very important to that team. So it's kind of tough. It will really affect them, in my opinion, because they play small ball five with Draymond sometimes. Looney's really the only big man that plays at that spot, so that gets rid of depth at a position where you're very thin and frail at. And offensively, what I just laid out is really how it's going to affect it. Um, so I just feel like this whole situation, like the reasoning that they gave was, you know, his history one, which I think is crazy because he really hasn't had you know, that excessive, reasons to really factor in history. I know he's had the LeBron thing and, the accidental kicks, but like I heard someone say that was 7 years ago. Why is that being factored into now? I really don't think history should really, be a part of it. We should be judging on the present. And in this present case, I feel like Sabonis was the agitator, the initiator. He's been doing it for the first two games, and I just think it's crazy. But you can answer the question you just asked me, but I want to add to you: does this affect Draymond's future with the Warriors, in your opinion? Basically, some people can make the argument Draymond cost if the Warriors lose this first round, some people can make the argument that Draymond cost them two finals or two NBA championships in 2016 with the Cavs and potentially this if it doesn't go their way against the Kings. So I want to add on to the question you asked me after you answer that. Do you think this affects Draymond's future? And what do you kind of make of that situation? He can opt in to I think it's 27 million and try to stay with the Warriors where he can still honestly get traded or he can opt out, test free agency. And what should the Warriors do? What do you kind of make of that whole situation with his future?
Yeah, so to answer your question about his future with the Warriors, I don't know how much it really affects his future in terms of where it was before that incident, because there's already been talks about him possibly not being there next year, the cap situation with the Warriors, and then also the fact that the CBA is going to change with the different ways that teams can put uh, or management can put teams together,
Luxury
and
tax.
the luxury tax and all that stuff. So there's a lot of different factors that I think we're going to be there anyway before this, but this incident does not help. It doesn't help at all. And I think really one way where it was going to be, yeah, they're going to keep them for sure, is if they went back to the finals and probably won or made a very deep run or something like that. Then you're like, yeah, you guys got to keep them together for sure, because you got to give them some more time until this thing falls, the wheels fall off this thing. But yeah, I don't think it's going to affect it too much more or less than it was before the incident, but it doesn't help at all. Um, but to move on, did he deserve it? I don't think he deserved a suspension. I think the ejection, if that's what you want to do by what happened, and then him reacting to the crowd, which was funny because you sent when you when that happened, you sent on Instagram the video of him reacting to the fans, and you was like, this dude crazy. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was funny. But yeah, okay, you can eject them, fine. But the suspension, I definitely do not agree with. And my thing is, to the people that were like, oh, you shouldn't have stepped on him like that, all that stuff. I don't know. Some people, they act like they never tripped before, because they were like, he had one foot on the ground. Yes, he did. But whenever you're walking and something catches your leg and you're not ready for it, or you're not expecting something to catch your leg, you're going to fall forward. Now, did he do more, or was it a little bit excessive, or could he have avoided it? Maybe. But when you fall or when you're falling forward, your momentum's going forward, something catches your leg, you're going to fall forward pretty fast. Like, that's just how it is. You're not gonna magically lift your leg that's already on the ground up, because even if you do that, he was still going to he was probably going to step on him even worse, because I feel like he kind of um braced it a little bit, but the look of it was bad. I think it was more of, he knew he was going to fall, and he just said, if Sabonis is there, he's there. And he didn't, you know, um, try and step over him. Could he have stepped over him? Maybe,
It
but
probably would have hurt him if he tried to step
exactly,
over.
like you're overextending. I mean, I've seen guys try and avoid, not stepping on people, or not doing stuff like that and getting hurt. Um, so I mean, could he have avoided it? Maybe, but I just think, especially like you outlined, Sabonis was the agitator. He grabbed his leg, grabbed his ankle. I mean, it didn't look good. I'll say that, but in certain angles, I can see how he fell forward. Like, he's like I said, his foot gets caught, you're not expecting it to, you're gonna fall forward pretty hard. So I don't think he deserved a suspension, but that's what the league did. So how is that going to affect the Warriors moving forward? I do feel like it's going to have a big effect. Can they still win? Yes, but how I think it's going to affect the Warriors is that the Warriors had trouble guarding De'Aaron Fox in the pick and roll. They usually give him drop coverage, and he's been tearing that up. He's been tearing it up and dropping buckets and giving the Warriors the business. And a lot of those plays, Kayvon Looney is the uh, big defender. He's the big man that's defending that screen and roll or screen and pop or whatever it is. And I feel like Draymond, when he's guarding it, he provides a different dimension than Kayvon Looney. Kayvon, I feel like he's been playing great. It's just in that specific action where they're trying to guard that pick and roll. I feel like Draymond gives them that different dimension where he can guard the pick. He's more mobile. He can do more things to disrupt that, and he can also guard Sabonis or the big whoever it is that's rolling to the basket or trying to kind of pop or whatever it is. So I feel like that is where they're going to miss him the most, and also initiating the offense because offensively, I feel like he initiates the offense. He allows Steph to go off ball and do what he does best and figure out ways to get shots off. He allows Clay to play off ball as well. That doesn't mean they can't do it. That doesn't mean that they won't win this next game, but it does hurt. And I feel like those are probably going to be some areas where they're going to miss Draymond this next game.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like defensively, and it's kind of funny. Sabonis, I saw a report where it said he might be questionable because of
He's
the
playing.
injury.
He's
It,
playing.
it made me wonder, like, are they trying to tell him to not play to kind of like even it out? But I honestly think Draymond could have just got a fine and we could have moved on because you can't take an important piece, you know, from a team that's down 2-0. That's part of a fan favorite team. We love them or hate them, but everybody tunes in to watch this team. Uh, they're a dynasty. He's an important piece for all the reasons you mentioned and I mentioned. It kind of just sucks. Like we can break it down, but it's just we know what Draymond is. Real basketball players or real basketball fans who see the game for more than just a stat sheet know what Draymond is. Um, and for the just to the point you alluded to, like the the Kings have De'Aaron Fox, guys that can get downhill. Draymond was probably one of the only few people that could actually do something as far as, a help defender. He's a really great help defender. You take that away. I just, it's kind of hard for me to see how they're going to win that game. I know they play a lot better at home. I know that they, play better offensively. Guys step up. Jordan Poole actually has positive minutes. Kuminga has positive minutes. I just don't know how they can really climb this mountain. If they had them, I felt like they could win both these games, but I just don't know at this point. It really went the complete opposite way of what I expected. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, yeah. I think the Warriors will play better at home. Again, it's going to be tough without Draymond, but at this point, they got to because if you go down 0-3,
I don't
it's
really see a
it's
path to
yeah,
winning.
it's not. It's going to be tough to come back from that.